Hi, I'm Kenneth WAJDA. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography talks. So today I want to talk about shooting in large crowds. If you're trying to work on your street photography, if you want to go out there and document what's going on in your world, it doesn't work so well, I find, in a place where there's only two other people on the street and me. Because when you pick up the camera, they're going to go, "What are you doing?" Because there's only two other people on the street. But if you get a big crowd, when I was in Vegas, I shot the streets of Vegas all day long because there's so many people. It's just like lines of people day and night. And it gives you access in a way that you blend in. Other people are taking pictures with their phone. I walked around with a camera with a 50 and a 150 millimeter f1.2, which I didn't shoot wide open. But I was walking around with that, probably shooting at f5, 6, or 8. And I was just walking along the whole time, just walking and shooting and shooting. And it was one of those places where I could. And everybody assumes if you point it at them, as they walk by, if you're still pointing it, they assume you must be shooting the guy behind them. And then the guy behind them. And then the guy behind them. It just keeps going. And the beauty is, you're just looking for those little stories. And I didn't terribly like Las Vegas, and the whole gambling thing and the liquor thing seemed to be like a money grab. But I enjoyed watching the people, and I enjoyed documenting them. If you're in Vegas and you're looking to shoot street, have at it, because nobody's going to really notice you. You're too small of a entity in a large group of people that is so gigantically large. Well, the same is true for Hollywood. I was just in LA, and then I had a day where my partner, she was working on the set of, I think, NCIS, and she was going to work. I said, "I'll drop you off, and then I'll just run down to Hollywood and take some pictures of the tourists." And I love documenting tourists. Tourists are a good thing. Tourists make a place come alive, and they're joyous, and they're having a good time, and there's a lot of them. And Hollywood Boulevard is notoriously packed with people. And there's a lot of stories. Sometimes it's like, you want to go document stuff in the street, but you look around and it's like, well, what's happening? Well, if you go into a busy place, there's a lot happening. So I walk up and down the street maybe twice, maybe 6 or 8 blocks each way. And I create a little photo story for Roy Stryker. I photographed it for a street, but then if I end up with a quantity of photographs, I'll turn those into a Roy Stryker post, because I'll have, if I can get this to work, I'll have a series of photographs that can work as a picture story. And that's what these are. I'll put these into a link below so you can see them much clearer and easier than these photographs. There were an awful lot of superheroes out there. And the superheroes can be a little bit tough, because I don't want to shoot the ordinary thing with the superheroes. I want to do something more than just the ordinary. But they're out there, and that was certainly, one of my goals, is to photograph the buskers and to photograph the people who are looking at the stars, walking down the Walk of Fame. And there's a lot of that there's a lot of enthusiasm going on, a lot of people doing things, a lot of buskers. There was one busker who kind of was giving me the evil eye, because I was shooting her as she was walking. It was a woman dressed as Catwoman. And then the second time I saw her, it's in the one photograph where she's walking toward the camera with Superman and I think the Hulk. You'll see that in the group of photographs in the link. In that photograph, she kind of yelled after I passed, and she said, "He's taking our picture." I said, "Yeah, I am. I'm documenting." In fact, in Vegas, somebody yelled at me and said, "Hey, we're on the streets." It was some of the showgirls. And they said, "You can't take our picture." And I said, "I don't want your picture. I want your picture with the people who are coming up to you. I'm looking to document you and your place and the fun that you're having taking pictures with your customers. And if I don't include you, then you don't exist in the documentary. And I really want to include you. I like what you're doing as well as all the other buskers, and I don't want to exclude you. But I'm not exploiting you. I'm not taking pictures because I want a picture of you. I want a picture of you with your customers because that's the documentary of the street. And then this woman said, okay, I understand. And then every time I'd walk by, she knew I was serious because who else walks by the same street over and over? She's working and I'm working. But anyway, so working in that group of people, and again, if somebody says anything about, well, what are you doing? You say, I'm documenting. I'm creating photographs for a documentary project. I'm photographing street because I'm documenting life on the street in LA. All they want to know is like there's a reason for it. If you have an answer, be ready with your answer. Practice your answer. Write down your answer. Put it in your notes in your phone so you can read it to yourself and remember it. So on the moment's notice, somebody says, hey, what are you shooting? Be enthusiastic and say, oh, I just love this place. I'm just documenting all I see. I want to take some of it home. I want to put some of it into a gallery. There's enthusiasm that kind of like diffuses any tension. And Catwoman, I said, I'm just documenting what's going on. And again, it wasn't like I was exploiting. I'm not doing portraits of these people and selling them. I'm creating them in their space. And to me, working in the crowd, you'll rarely get anybody to respond. I don't think, except for the one showgirl in Vegas, and except for Catwoman, seems like costume people. Those are the only two people that in both places did I even have anybody talk to me. And both of them are concerned that, you know, well, if you take my picture, you should be paying me. And I said, but I'm not a customer. I'm actually documenting you in your world. So there's a difference. Anyway, that would be my suggestion for if you want to get out and work the street in a busy place. Go to where your town square is during a festival. Go to your outdoor shopping area where there's a walk mall so that there's a lot of people gathered. Go where the buskers go. The buskers know that that's where a lot of people hang. And that's why they go there, so they can perform for them and get some tips. So if you're not sure where to go, think about where do the buskers go. Google your areas, where are the buskers going? And that's the place. Buskers is a word for people who play music on the street or dress as statues or dress as showgirls or dress as costume characters like in Hollywood, all those superheroes. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you have any experiences, put them in the links below. I'd like to talk about your photographs and your experiences shooting in crowds. And how does that work for you? I think it works really good. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, please do with the Patreon, and I will bring you more photography talks. Thanks. I appreciate you, and I wish you good light.